in the Mary Kay world as of yet, but I can tell you this. For those of you that did preferred customer program, you're going to be excited to be so cute this summer, to be cute earlier than everyone else. And so we're happy for you. We're glad that you're here. I have to apologize. I've been so busy. I haven't had a chance to go and pick up my director suit from the dry cleaner. So this is an older one that still fits me. I'm like, oh, okay. I have a couple jackets that are a little snug, and I'm sure it's just from being in my closet for too long or something. It's like, oh, okay.
They shrink in the
So
in the closet.
right, it's something in there. It's like, okay, it must be humid in there or something, and my clothes got smaller. So
I think
anyway,
this one's shrinking in my closet for some reason. I just don't know what it is.
I know I'm almost afraid. Well, I'll have an excuse when I get it back from the dry cleaners. If it doesn't fit the same, I'll just say the dry cleaners must have done something to the threads of my suit. So, all right, well, we have 3 minutes before we get started, right on time tonight, because we have some exciting news about our breakout rooms today. And I think it's going to be able to provide a little bit more intentional training, and you're going to get to hear from more sales directors are going to be able to utilize their skills. And so it's going to be really great. And we're excited to be able to launch that tonight. So, hello, Elizabeth. Hey, Jenny. We're glad that you guys are making it in. Again, thank you for being on time. We love that. And it definitely speaks to your sales director when you've made the time to be here. And so, hey, Barbara. Well, and sometimes I say welcome to you guys. You can't even hear me because you're still turning your audio on or whatever. But we're excited. I hope I nailed it with everybody that made it on
I see
here.
some
So,
exciting things going on in the points. I'm just saying, two of my consultants that have been a consultant for less than a week, two new consultants are in the top 10. I'm just saying.
we love that. We love it. We love it so much.
Moving and
All
shaking.
right, let's see who is adding in here. It looks like we've got Jennifer, Laura, Shannon's iPhone. Is that somebody that was already on? I'm not sure. And so I'm going to be bouncing back and forth here because I'm looking at the totals as we speak, and now is not the time for my mouse to act up. Okay. Um, And so, yes, I'm excited to see. And the other thing that's pretty cool as a sales director is that we get to see the breakdown of all the points. And so, that's something that I appreciate being able to sort of look at and track to see where the points are coming from and what we see consistently. And so, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Are we spotlighting the units, Donna?
Yeah, they're
Okay,
on
I
there. Did you
wasn't
see
sure if
them?
we were doing that. Okay. All right. Well, we have 30 seconds before we get started. So thank you for being here. We're excited. And you know what? I want you to go ahead and make a comment in the comments what are you the most excited about with your preferred customer program? I think sometimes preferred customer program is overlooked as a service. And how are you utilizing that? What are you doing? I know we trained a little bit on sales through customer service in our gold room last time we talked about sales. Hey, Peggy. Hey, Gina, we're excited you guys made it. And so, what's something that you appreciate about preferred customer program? Maybe your tip that you utilize PCP will be somebody else's really great idea if they can bounce their ideas off of you. So go ahead and comment in our comments about preferred customer program, and we are going to go ahead and get started because it is 8 o'clock on the dot. So welcome, welcome, welcome to our fearless finish. We're excited to have you here. We have a couple of fun announcements. Not a whole lot new in the Mary Kay world. Preferred customer program is over, so go ahead and give yourself a woohoo. For those of you, which I'm assuming are all of you, sent out at least one book. Okay. Shall we even dare to show it? I'm going to show it like this. And so we're excited for you to get your hands on the new books and for you to get prepared for the summer season. And what a great way by launching your preferred customer program to your customers. And so we're excited about that. We have a few announcements. We still have our Glow for It promotion. You guys don't overlook the $20 starter kit. This is one of those opportunities where when you are working with consistency, you have things to talk about with your customers, and a $20 starter kit is really exciting. $35 is really exciting too, but the $20 e-start sort of, to get the ball rolling is such a great opportunity for people. And so as we're racing into the finish line here and crossing over into our the final frontier of the seminar year, you're going to be excited to go into that with some new team members. And so the Glow for It promo $20 starter kit is still available. The team building special that is happening between April 1st and April 30th. We have 30 days in April. Make sure you read on In Touch about that. That's when the company is giving you an extra credit for a Great Start Personal Qualified when you have 3. So they're going to challenge you a little bit, not to just get 1 and you get it's not a double credit. It's when you have 3 Great Start Qualified, you get an extra Great Start Qualified towards your quota sale or quota sharing. So if you have 1, it would be 1. You'd have 1. If you have 2, you'd have 2. But when you have 3 Great Start Qualified, you'd have 4 because they're going to give you that extra credit. Okay. So if you're not totally sure what I'm talking about, it should be on the main splash page on your In Touch community. Go ahead and visit, spend some time there. It's really easy to access from your phone or from your computer, and, go into a quiet place and spend a few minutes of time getting caught up on some of the news that's happening on Mary Kay In Touch. Of course, we love the $700 promo for the Powered Up promo. And so you're not going to want to miss out on that great cooler. For those of you that have it handy and you want to show us, it's big, it's great, it's colorful. And anytime I've ever won anything in Mary Kay, people always ask me, where'd you get that bag? Where'd you get that ring? I love your jewelry. Where did you get this? And I always say the same thing. Oh, this just happened to be nail polish remover, but I'd say, oh, I got this for free. And then what do you think the next thing is that people say? How'd you do that? Or really, what was that? And I say, oh, my company, it's so great. I earn prizes all the time. And then it leads right into a conversation, which usually ends in a booking or, a sale. So $700 promo, always follow the prize trail. Any prize that your director is giving away, any prize that the company is giving away, any prize that your national is giving away, any prize that the Mary Kay national area is giving away, you always want to follow the prize trail. Okay. And the last announcement, unless I'm forgetting something, and if I am, directors, let me know. We're going to talk a little bit tonight about the breakout rooms. We've made a small modification to make the arenas even tighter. And so we're going to be introducing a bronze room today, and we'll give you a little bit of the rundown on what that looks like. But we're going to separate some of the people that may have been in the large room to make that room a little bit smaller and a little bit more intense, not intense. What's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more intimate. Okay. And intense. We're going to get on you. No, I'm kidding. And so we're going to talk to you a little bit about that. But first, we're going to spotlight some of our leaders. And so we're going to do some recognition for our sales director friends today with the units. Now, when you're submitting your points for the week, you may not think it makes a difference, but it really does. And so not only are you showing up, but you are being a team player when you fill out your form, even when your numbers are embarrassing to you, even when you're not sure. There's something so valuable about learning how to contribute to not just your goal, but your unit's goal. And so we just appreciate those for all of you that submit your points on time by 1 p.m. I think that's noon Eastern Standard or Central Time, but 1 p.m. for us. Okay, so the Roman unit is 21%. So let's get our runs in number 7 with 21%. And the Strong unit has improved. They went from 18% to 45%. We're so excited to see the growth. All right, Haste unit is number 5 with 50%. So half of you are turning your points in. We know you guys could do it. Actually, it's a tie. We have the Siegel unit with 50% too. So congratulations, you got half the people are there. Harvey unit is number 3 with 53%. They slipped into bronze with 3% better, right, than the Siegel and Hayes unit. Okay, and then the number 2 unit is the Carter unit with 63%. Woohoo, go Carter unit. And the number 1 unit, you guys, the number 1 unit again is the Scott unit. Congratulations to the Scott unit, 67%. All right, and I mean this in love, but we have to knock the Scott unit off the pedestal. So I'm just wondering, who is it going to be next month? Who is it going to be? We love you. But all right. So congratulations. It makes a difference. And it's learning how, when maybe you're not as excited about what you've contributed, how you can contribute to your unit's win. Okay. All right. So let's talk about our top 10. We have 10 ladies that turned their points in that earned the privilege of being our top 10 achievers this week. And we're going to whip through the first 7 so that we can hear from the top 3. Okay. And so we have, with 633 points, Shayla Goosen. I think that's how you say your name. Shayla, right? If I say the names wrong, y'all forgive me, right? Okay. Number 9 is Trista Pickard from the Strunk unit with 915. Congratulations. Number 8 is Becky Osborne from the Roman unit. Congratulations. Now we're getting into the big girl points because we've got over 1,000. So it's 1,106 points. Congratulations. Now, number 7 is Des Prokish. Is that right?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, from the Strunk unit. Des. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yes?
Des.
Okay. She must be a new one. We're excited for you. Number 7, you go girl with 1,115 points. Then we have Lisa Schreck from the Scott unit, 1,226 points. She comes in at number 6. And Barbara Bell is number 5 from the Allison Carter unit. Congratulations, with 1,300 points. And you guys, this is the week of Easter, so we're excited. It was a busy week, right? Number 4 is Lori Parks from the Strunk unit with 1,680 points. Congratulations. And let's do a drum roll for our top 3. So we're excited to be able to talk to these leaders. And before we say anything to them, I just want to say that when I look at the points, and this is such a valuable lesson to learn, when you start tracking yourself and you're tracking your parties and your facials, you guys, all those extra points, like the interviews and the career talks and the future bookings and the leads, everything starts happening when you put yourself in position to sell because you are facialing and hosting parties. And so when you look at these top achievers, I'm seeing bookings, parties, faces, sales, and then they get the 700 extra points for the 1 + 1 + 1, and then they get the extra bookings and the extra referrals, and it just starts to really, it's like compound interest. It just really starts to, so I want you, when we call your name, I want you to give us a hot tip on how you are balancing all of the work that's happening. Like, how are you getting into your flow? How do you go from a booking to having full circle success? Okay. So the first achiever is our bronze winner, and that is number 3 from the Haste unit with 1,949 points, Shannon Sherman. We're so excited. And I hope somebody can pin us together. And Shannon, where are you at? Unmute yourself so we can hear from you.
I'm here.
Hey, girl. Okay, so we're excited to hear from you. You had 1,949 points. I would love for you to tell everyone what your key to your week looks like.
Well, I'm out mowing right now, and so the first thing I wanted to say is I feel like it's so when you show up, you go up. So, like, I have in my earbuds, I've been listening to everything. Luckily, I have a mower with a joystick that but I think it's just important to be on no matter what, trainings, anything. So that was just one thing I was going to say. And then I have fortunately been pretty consistent these last few weeks of getting at least one team member each week. So that has been important. And our unit is doing chemo care packages. And so I had a pretty big order this week. I mean, not monstrous, but pretty big. Um, Purchasing the products, I've gotten sponsors for our chemo care packages, and so it helps our production, but it also is helping cancer patients. So little things like that. So
I love it. And you know what? On those weeks when maybe you don't have the parties and the facials, but you did previous weeks, your order helps. Then you've got your new team member. And so you've got your career chats and all those things. And so a lot of times, you guys, it rolls over into the next week. You know what I mean? And so congratulations, you are our runner up to the queen.
thank you.
And I know how it is to mow. Like when mowing calls, it's like you've got to do it. So I get it.
Yeah,
Okay. And so
thank you.
let's talk about our runner up to the queen this week in our number 2 position with over 2,500 points, Jennifer Byers from the Haste unit. Congratulations. We're so excited. There she is. Now you're going to notice these faces, right? Because we see these faces a lot. And I love that Jennifer originally said, I have a plan, I have a plan. And now we're seeing the implementation of that plan and the consistency. And so when I look at her points, I'm seeing parties, I'm seeing facials, I'm seeing career chats, I'm seeing new team members, I'm seeing product orders. I mean, these are things that all start to work together. So, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about what your week looked like and how you're working with consistency. What's the key?
So this week it's still consistent, even though I had a lot going on and I was actually driving out of town. So, but I have to work it around that. So for me, it's still consistency. I still had booked my, one big group appointment. I still did a couple of facials. I didn't have the referrals that I normally have, and I was a little bummed about that. But I mean, I'm full, so it's because I was booking, really kind of far out because I'm full from the last 4 weeks, and people are hard to commit to because I have limited time when they can see me. So people don't want to commit. So I think, I'll see what happens, later. But I just keep doing it. I just keep going, and even through the nose, I liken it to what I heard at career conference with the stick of gum, right? It's no big deal anymore if I get a no. If it's got skin and I can help, I want to. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of sick right now. So bear with me. My voice, my everything's off. But I'm literally driving to Iowa, voxering Susan and Shannon. I need a different video. I'm trying to, talk to a career conference chat with this lady, and she doesn't like this video and this, and so it was quite an ordeal, but we did it, didn't we, Susan and Shannon? So hopefully I have another conversation with her tomorrow. So hopefully that I have a new team member, but it's just
And we love
romancing
that.
them.
Yes, we love that. We love how it rolls over into the next week. And so when you work with consistency, you'll start to see that it starts to overlap and overlap and overlap. And you guys, one of the greatest gifts in your life when you do that for a long period of time is that you'll be able to not work when you can't, and the business will still work for you. So I just encourage you to keep going. Okay, and you guys, our queen tonight with over 2,956 points from the Siegel unit, Jenny Elkins. Congratulations, Jenny. We're so proud of you.
Thank
All
you.
right, we know there you are. There you are. You're down there on my screen. Okay, so share with us a little bit about what your week looked like, even though it was Easter. How in the world? Tell me. We all are dying to know how you managed that.
Referrals. And fortunately, in the area that I am, there was no school on Friday. And so that was a super busy day for me, and I love it. And it's actually started like Thursday. So people were like, oh, we don't have school tomorrow. We can meet with you. We don't have school tomorrow, or we don't have school today. So I took advantage of the day on Friday, and I followed up with some of my reorder phone calls. And then this week was my referral week. I went and collected all of my boxes and things like that. And you guys, there were 22 people that signed up. And I know that doesn't sound a lot if you're like in a bigger city, but for us in the smaller cities or towns, it was huge. I was like, I told Linda on Thursday night, I was like, I got 22 names. I got 22 names from the referral boxes. So it was so much fun. I was so excited. And of course, I started those phone calls immediately in between everything. And I had a party. I had the individual facials, and one girl just, you do for full circle, and that had always been hard for me. And so we were doing the interview, and she's like, I'm not interested. I don't want to sell it. I don't want to do nothing. And I'm like, great, you're going to be a fantastic customer. So remember that. I struggle with getting people to sign up. So that is something that we are working on, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But it was a great week. It was a great week,
And
and I was
by the
super
way,
excited.
you are the queen of bookings too, because I see that you got 500 points for bookings. And
Yes.
so guess what that means? We're gonna see you at the top for the next couple of weeks to come, because that is where the key is. So congratulations. Okay,
Thank
let's
you.
get into our training about where you are going today. Okay, so we have implemented a bronze room, which is going to separate our gals from the main room over into the bronze room. So if you have no bookings right now, if you feel like, what is happening? I don't know what's going on. You are going to stay right here in the main room, and we're going to have a great trainer that's going to train you on how to get a booking so we can get you up out of the main room. Okay. The second room, the bronze room, is for if you have 1 to 2 bookings on your books right now. Okay, we're going to transition you over so we can start talking how to turn those into parties and what that looks like and how to start making some extra money. Today we have a topic that we're talking about, but you have elevated yourself into the bronze room. The silver room is 3 to 4 bookings on your books. Okay. And our gold room is 5 or more bookings. So we're going to have a director that's designated to train today, and then we're going to have some floating directors that might pop in and pop out of the rooms to be in there, so that can help answer questions in the chat. So if you have questions, make sure you're asking questions in your chat room so that the directors that are in there that are not training can answer the questions for you. Okay, so we should see the breakout rooms down at the bottom. You're going to want to pop on there and go into the bronze room if you have 1 to 2, the silver room 3 to 4, the gold room if you have 5 or more bookings, and if you don't have any bookings, we want you to stay right here in the main room so we can address those issues and get you out of here next week. All right, and we'll see you guys back here at 7:45 or 8:45. I think if you just click on the breakout room, yeah, you can go down and see that the bronze rooms are listed. And then, oh, I see. Okay, then we can assign you if we have to. Okay. Very good. Okay. Okay. All right. So raise your hand if you have a booking, but you don't know how to get out of here. Okay. So Joyce, are you trying to get into a certain room?
Yes, I'm trying to get to the bronze room, but I don't see the breakout room anywhere.
I'll assign.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. I was going to say, I think I can assign you bronze.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see if that, you are welcome. Okay. Is there anybody else that is lost in the main room and wishes to get out because they want to be in their right room? Okay. Does everybody else raise your hand if you have no bookings? Okay. So we have the gals that are here that are correct. Okay. So tonight who's training in here? Judy?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to mute my phone, and Judy, take it away.
Oh, Judy, you're on mute. See if we can unmute you. I can't unmute her. Can you unmute her, Donna? There we go.
I did it, right?
Perfect.
Okay, yay. How many people are in the main room tonight? Can you tell?
It looks like there's 18.
Okay, all right. I'm just wondering, as you hear these people who got their points in and are in the top 10, and if you've listened to this for several weeks and you don't find yourself there, are you feeling kind of, not good about that? Because I would understand that. As a new consultant, I had this one girl, I could just never, ever beat her. Never, no matter what, until I finally had it and said, this is the week, and I'm going to do it. And so the way that you make that happen is, by doing the things that we suggest you do. Because now last week, not everybody did their PCP. I thought we oversold it. I mean, I can't imagine not doing it. I know that sometimes people forget, but for why would you not do it? So, if you did not do your PCP, then that's one thing you could have done that will help you to advance in your career. And did you practice your booking script in front of a mirror? This is a thing that will build your self-confidence so that when you open your mouth, the words just come out. They absolutely do. And you will find yourself in situations. I live in an older condo building. It's very nice, it's older. And then we have a laundry room. And I was down there doing my laundry. And another girl started talking to me and she said, oh, I'm down here. I don't have my makeup on. And I could have said, oh, well, that's okay. I said, oh, I can't ever leave my condo without my makeup on because I'm with Mary Kay. So I said, I would love to get your opinion on the product. So you create a situation, where you have somebody else coming. And did you make your list of 25 people? We said 25 to 50. And I wonder how many of you did it. And so Jessica is monitoring the chats. And so you can put those things in there or put questions in there as we go along. And then when we're done with the training, we will address those and go over them, okay? So all the things we talked to you about are important. I always did whatever Mary Kay said and whatever my director said. I never questioned it. I thought if they said to do it, I did it. Mary Kay told me as a brand new consultant, get a cleaning lady. I went, well, that sounds good. Okay. And I have not cleaned my own house since 1972. And, that's a wonderful thing. And she said, you give somebody else a job and you go out and hold a party to pay that person. So if you don't have a cleaning lady, Mary Kay told us to get one. So be sure and take care of that this week. I want to give you the big picture of the business, because the business is all about you and it's not about you. It's all about you because you are an important person. You're somebody's personal team member. Even if that person who signed you up is no longer with the company, you were at one time somebody's personal team member. You are a member of a unit. So you therefore have a unit, sisters in your unit, and you have a director. And then you are part of a national something. Mary Kay National Area for our unit and for a lot of others, but you're part of that. So it is all about you, and everything you do makes a difference. I have consultants tell me, well, I don't do much. And I go, hey, we add in what you do and it makes a difference on the end. So you need to be aware of that everything that you do or don't do makes a difference in the end result. And we want you to know how important you are. So, all right. I don't want to read my notes because I don't read that well, so I'm trying to do something different here tonight. Okay, we talked about booking parties from a party. And I want to review that with you again because they're Mary Kay's words and they are so magical that they just work. And so you want to be below eye level, look into her right eye and say, Jessica, at every party, I always select one or two people that I would most like to have as a future hostess. And tonight I've selected you. Tell me, is there any reason why you couldn't be a hostess? I just think you'd be great and I would love working with you. I'm telling you, that is so hard to say no to. So learn the words and practice them until they just come out of your mouth. All of this is a skill set. There is a Mary Kay skill set, and I'm going to tell you how to expand on that in a minute. So sometimes they give you an objection. Well, about I don't know who I would invite. Well, let's see. Do you know two people? Yeah, well, have them each bring somebody with them. That'll work, right? And then if you end up with 3 or 4 or 5, that's great. So you have a suggestion for them. So they go, oh, okay, that excuse is not gonna work. And then sometimes I'll say, I don't know when I can do it. And you say, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll just set a tentative date. And when that date arrives, if we can't do it then, we'll reschedule. So you don't accept that I don't know when I'm going to do it. Okay. And then there's a lot of times they go, well, I'll have to ask my husband. Some people still have to ask their husband. And we understand that. And we accept it. And we say, but you know what we have found in this situation is that if we set a tentative date, then if he says no, we'll change it, but that'll work, right? And it does. Let me tell you something. Women have a tough time making decisions. We weren't trained for it like the guys are. And I always say that women have such a tough time making a decision. They can't decide when to throw away a disposable razor. I mean, how many do you have on your bathtub, or shower? It just is the way we are. Okay. So one of the first words we all learned as children is no. And so most of the time when you ask a yes or no question, people say no. So don't ask yes or no questions. Don't ask, do you want to have a party? Because I'll say no. At every class, I always select 1 or 2 women. You get back into that again. Now, during your party, you're going to open the party with, you will be receiving 2 facials. One is tonight or today, and the next one in 2 weeks for a checkup from the neck up. Okay, so right there, they all know they're going to get 2. As you go through your party, you are going to say at your second facial as many times as you can remember it. So when the party is over and you want to schedule them, you don't ask them whether or not they want to do it. Just is this week or next week best for you for your second facial? We're giving choices. The first part of the week or the last part of the week? Daytime or evening, whatever you have available, because you have figured it out on your weekly plan sheet. So and I suggest that you have them, for this week and the 2 weeks following, because that's as far out as you want to book. Otherwise, people, they get tired of the idea and they find a way to get out of it. But we're not going to let that happen. Okay. So you confirm the date and give the hostess her hostess packet and tell her how excited you are to work with her because you're going to be business partners. And you need to find out, what does she want to earn with her hostess credit so that you can focus on that. And we're not going to go into coaching tonight and all of that, but that's another whole course. So you always want to remember when you're in front of people and not to worry about what they think about you, because you will always be wrong. I'm telling you, you will always be wrong. You might think she's thinking, oh, I don't learn, what's wrong, blah, blah, blah. No, she's sitting there thinking, wow, that is one sharp chick. I like her. That's what I like to always think they're thinking. And that works well for me. So when you're in front of the guests, you focus on them and you will not even have time to think about what they are thinking. I promise you, some of these things are so vitally important that you believe them in your deepest part of your heart so that it works and it will work. All right. How about the girl? This is just a little sales thing I have to throw in here because this threw me for quite a few parties before I was smart enough to ask somebody, what do you say when somebody says this to you? So she loves the product. She wants to buy it, but she's not going to buy it tonight because she has to use up the stuff she has at home. And I go, what do you say to that girl? And it's funny because my own situation was this. So here's what you want to write down. Feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel, Susie. I actually felt the same way myself. But what I found was I really wanted to save the Mary Kay for my face and use that other stuff up on my hands and feet. And that's actually what I did. And people who have stuff that they want to use up, once they get in there, they find out things that are dried up, they're no longer in fashion. They can fill a couple of waste paper baskets just throwing some things away. So feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. I felt the same way myself, and what I found was, okay? Can you remember that? Everybody shake your head up and down so I can tell you're listening to me. Okay, good. All right. This was one of the coolest things I ever learned on developing my skill set with Mary Kay. And it was in a book, and I can't remember the name of the book, but written by a very important person. And he told us a story about men who were prisoners of war, kept in cages where they got out, just to exercise a little bit a day, but just terrible, terrible conditions. And so for them to stay mentally alert, they would, if they were golfers, practice their golf swing and doing a golf game in their mind, visualized it in their mind. And some of them were in these prisons for years. But when they got home and got a hold of a club, they played that same game. The same game. And then there was a basketball coach, and they did an experiment. And they had guys that practiced shooting free throws every day, some that practiced like every 2 or 3 days, and some that just practiced in their mind. The guys that practiced in their mind did the best. So how can you make that work for you? Well, you can visualize women sitting around a table. You can visualize the things that they're going to say to you and what you want to have an answer for. And develop your Mary Kay skill set. When you're building your confidence, when you're looking in the mirror and booking yourself, when you record yourself, you listen like you were the person who was being talked to, not the one that's talking. So this is a very, very powerful way to develop your skill set. And I really encourage you to use it. And you can do it anywhere. How about those times when you're just sitting someplace waiting in a doctor's office or, dead time, I call it. And you could just, run through some scenarios. And then anytime you get something that stops you, write it down. That's why your notebook is so important. Because you write everything in there so you never lose anything. Absolutely great. Okay. I'm checking to see how we're doing on time. Pretty good. The stronger your business is, the more confident you become and you decide to do bigger things and accomplish more. Too many people think so small. If you wrote your prospect list out and you had 25 people, have you started calling them yet? How many are you going to call? What are you going to say? Do they know you're with Mary Kay? I've been to the theater 4 times. And this last week at the Wiz, one of the girls is a consultant. She's been a consultant since the early 2000s. I thought she looked good, I was going to ask her, but I only see her when I go to the theater and I don't know her. She's just in the same car with me. So we had a lovely conversation after we found out that she was a consultant. It's so fun. Okay, listen to this. One of my consultants, her name's Beverly, several years ago, decided that she wanted to go to Ireland and she wanted to take her daughter with her. And so she decided she was going to use team building commissions to pay for the trip. And so she just opened a savings account, never cashed those checks, just deposited them in the savings account. Not only did she get enough to make the trip, and imagine how fantastic that would feel to work on something for a couple of years, and then have it happen. But in the process of that, she also won the use of a Mary Kay car. So, thinking big, having a plan, getting dedicated, figuring out how you're going to do it, that all works just so great, and you'll be so happy with yourself. And are you aware that your unit also has a goal? And if you are aware of that, do you know what the goal is? Because you can help. And, everybody always asks, I'm sure it's happened to every single one of you. Do you have the pink Cadillac? Have you earned the pink Cadillac yet? And if you haven't, you get kind of sick of people saying it to you. So you have to have a good answer for that. And we always said, hey, it's on order. We've got it ordered. It just isn't here yet. So almost all directors would love to be, driving and qualifying for a pink Cadillac. Our unit right now, this is our first month of qualifying for the number 24 pink Cadillac, which is just crazy. And it's one of the reasons that I started with Mary Kay. So you want to share your goals. And I went to this little gas station and I told him I was going to win a pink Cadillac. He said, oh, okay, fine, drive by when you get it. Well, the original program they had, it was difficult. And I never qualified in that program. Then Mary came up with a new program and I went, I can do that. But I didn't win the pink Cadillac. I won a pink Regal. But I drove to the gas station. I said, look at my pink car. He said, it's not a Cadillac. It's funny who motivates you. So when I got the pink Cadillac, I went there and they have those little cords, that ring the bell inside to let somebody know that there's somebody. I just drove around and around and honked my horn. It was great. So, look forward to moments like that. How will you celebrate when you actually get what you want? So find out what your unit goal is. And remember, if you don't have a goal, you don't know what to do, who to call, why you're calling them. So we go very long back to the very first thing we talked about is you must have a goal. You must have a goal. And if you haven't talked to your director about what your goal is, she can help you to figure out how to reach that goal. So get going on that. And then be a team player. Doggone it, you're on a team. You're part of the unit. You have to be a player. You have to contribute because that's what makes things happen. If you're just one that sits by and goes, oh, well, I have people in my units, they think they're personal use, so they don't do anything. When they could, help another couple people look good and move out of that. But, it's just where some people are. Okay. Jessica, what's coming in on the chat?
Okay, Jean asked if we could put some of your scripts into the materials so we can get those from you, and Donna can upload those, I think.
Okay.
Because Jean, you're asking about the hostess ask. Maybe we could repeat. Judy, would you be able to repeat that? What you said at every skincare class, I always select 1 to 2 women.
Yes. At every skincare class, I always select 1 or 2 people I would most like to have as a future hostess. And tonight, I have selected you. Tell me, is there any reason why you couldn't be a hostess? I think you'd be great.
Love it. Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. And then, yeah, anybody else have any questions? Jean asked, what day did you go to the show? She also has tickets to the plays. She might have saw you out there.
I go Wednesday nights.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's odd. I don't know these women, but they come by and pick me up and bring me back home. And I love it.
That's perfect. Yeah.
And Jean, I get the magnets. So on my refrigerator now, I've got little magnets of the shows that I go to. So that's fun.
That's perfect. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, Jean goes on Friday, so that's awesome.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? We have about 2 minutes. You guys can ask Judy, the
comments.
legend, or yes, anything that you guys that stood out to you. I know in the beginning, everyone said, let's see, Jean said she forgot to practice her script, but she made her list. So nice job, Jean. And Laura said, I'm still scared to ask, but tonight I'm going to practice in front of a mirror. Good plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll be so, you have to do the stuff or nothing happens.
Yes. What else are you guys' takeaways? Go ahead and put them in the comments, something that you're going to plan on doing tonight or that you learned. Go ahead and put those in the comments.
No, it's all stepping out of your comfort zone. Just have to get your toe in the water. And, if you are unwilling to do that, then I have no words for you. You gotta take the little risk. You think it's huge, but it's just that one step out of the comfort zone. And honestly, it's exciting when you get out there.
Yeah. Okay, here comes everyone back in here.
All right.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you got something good.
It was great. And I'm going to close everything out tonight. I'm going to use one of these cards and notice what it says on there. Can you read that big word that's in the picture part? It says trust. And so the scripture for tonight is Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. And it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him. So often we think that the training that we're hearing here week after week, maybe you would think, oh, that just isn't for me. Those words aren't for me. Like, to be honest, Judy gave the correct booking approach right here at the end. She repeated it. And those were Mary Kay's words. Mary Kay came up with every single word and practiced and switched them and changed them. And for years, well, my first 4 years of not moving up in the company, I said, I just don't think I can say those words. They just don't sound like me. Mary Kay said, if they don't sound like you, I've just given them to you. Now they are your words. So whatever you have to do. But anyway, you might think I just can't say those certain things. Yet those who do the things that you're learning every single week are the things that the women who are moving up, who are building businesses, who are building teams, they're using all of those things, those skills. They're tried and true. They're systems and techniques that work. They aren't gimmicky. Even if you think they're gimmicky, they are not gimmicky. They are solid business techniques. So I want you, on the back of this card, it says, a wise person takes heed of the direction they are running. What is God nudging me to do today? I will lean in his direction and not walk away. So I want you to repeat after me. I am running
I am running
toward my destiny
toward my
Toward my
destiny
destiny
and not away from it.
and
and
not
not
away.
away.
From it.
So trust the training that you're getting here because it does work if you will use it. Have a great evening. Thank you, Judy, and all the teachers that taught in your rooms.
Thank you.
Have a great week, ladies.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. I'm going to hit the button now.